Don't be in a stress to that you have to do this, do that. Whatever you do it with love, do it with passion, do it with your own interest. Don't be in a competitive mind like, oh, he is doing or she is doing, I have to do better than her or I have to do better than him. Don't think like that. Be in your own way.
Hello everyone, welcome to Tech Podcast One on One. Today we have Vivek Kamath, software developer at Yenepoya incubator at Yenepoya Medical College. Welcome to podcast.
Yeah, thank you.
How are you?
Yeah, doing good.
You-
Provide.
Why did you join engineering? Why did you join engineering? What is your motivation to?
Yeah, I had joined engineering because, like, I was interested in engineering from the young age itself. I was fascinated to watch how things work, starting from the household electronics up to vehicles, like whichever vehicles I see around them. I want to see what are the inner parts of them, and I also want to. I also want to see what are the components and how does it work and how the structure. For example, in human body there are skeleton, muscles, nervous system. How all these work together. Similarly, I wanted to learn how each and every household applications, vehicles, and each and every things around me work. And the next logical step was to pursue a field where I could blend my curiosity in problem solving skills and leading me to engineering. That's the reason I had chose specifically IT in that information science, where I can get an extra option of learning testing, software testing during the graduation itself, so that later on I would not be like in uh, later on I would not be like in a learning state. So I would get some basic ideas of how a software can be tested. That's the reason I had come to information science to be specific. So, and coming to my motivation is like some of my elders, like few of them, including my aunt, some of them were in software engineering itself. Seeing them, I motivated myself and I thought like I would come to software field itself and I can work as well. And once I get placement, I can compete who are with me and I can work in a team and get more knowledge of that. Since I had told from childhood, I like I like software engineering. So I continued that as my passion.
Great, great Vivek. So you started coding early, when you were engaged, like 8th or 10th, or did you started your coding journey from engineering only?
Yeah, I started my coding journey at the high school itself, around the age of 15. Like initially, I had computer as an extra option, but during fourth standard and fifth standard, I just neglected because it was supplementary. Now later on seventh
Yeah.
and eighth standard, we had got the same things to study. So I thought this time I won't be missing, and I started how the history of computers, like who created the computer and from which generation and what generations. For example, now fifth gen and sixth gen computers are coming, supercomputers are coming. Initially, how huge the computers were, the evolution of computers, these things and all I had learned and I had explored more in Google. It was basically theoretical. Then after that, coming to ninth standard, I had started a little bit going deeper and I started learning C and C++ since it was in my syllabus as well. I had started searching it in Google and learned more deeper. For example, more I started to go more solving problem solving examples and so on. So I would say that I started my coding in high school itself. And during engineering also I was little bit learning more and more languages. Especially during engineering, I started HTML, CSS, and after HTML, CSS, I started little bit to apply logic as well, and went to JavaScript as well. And with help of PHP, I learned, like with help of XAMPP, I learned how to use PHP. later I also realized that HTML CSS is like uh, how to say, it's like grandpa principles. So I thought of coming into other JavaScript libraries and frameworks such as React.js. So I worked couple of months there also in during my engineering life and after engineering. And while working on Flutter, I was seeing what was difference between React.js and Flutter, how different they are, how like what things are required for making an application and what things are also required to make websites parallelly. That's how I noted the difference, as I had to do responsive websites as well and applications.
Great, great, Vivek. So you have started coding journey from your high school. So
Yes.
like it's great. So you are from biology background or PCMB background or computer science in PU?
Yeah, coming to PUC, I mean 11th standard or 12th standard, first PU or second PU, I had taken PCMC itself, physics, chemistry, mathematics, and computer science. I had interest in computer science directly, so it would be a little easier to join engineering. I would get a good grip,
Yeah,
so I just went to computer science.
great, great. So I asked this because most of our audience, I mean, guests are from PCMB background. Even I am from PCMB background and joined engineering.
Yeah, that's there because they would try to write NEET and JEE mains as well. So they will mainly focus on
Yeah,
like first NEET. Then if they don't get, they come to JEE mains, and if they don't get there, they will come to CET. So that's the thing they approach, and they try to maybe go wherever they can. PCMB will give extra option for
yeah,
both the fields, but PCMC I wanted technically, so I would get into technical field itself. So what I would like to tell you guys is, like, if you want multiple options, then you can opt PCMB. If you only want to go to technical, then go for PCMC directly, so that you will get a little bit grip in C++ language, which is
yeah,
object
yeah.
oriented, and later on procedural oriented programming in third semester or fourth semester, whichever semester, based on the schemes you can learn in the entry level itself. It will give a good grip if you learn it in plus one and plus two itself. Yeah.
Great, Vivek. So, can you explain briefly about your 4 years of engineering? How was the engineering life? What are the things you did? What are the learning you did? And did you enjoy it also, or did you just study it, or just um, did only technical part?
Yeah. My 4 years of engineering life was literally dramatic. Like, lot of ups and downs, lot of failures, lot of success. Yeah. So, do you want me to tell me? Do you want me to start with what how the 4 years of engineering life based on syllabus work, or how do you want me to start?
Like how you went through 4 years of engineering, first year, second year, third year, fourth year. What
Okay,
are
so
the
I would
things you
start with
learned? And
syllabus itself, like how how was first year and first semester, second semester.
yeah,
In
yeah.
first year, it was first semester, second semester, where I had P cycle and C cycle. So now we'll be having all the basic science like maths, chemistry, then physics in these two cycles, and electronics, electrical, like first and second semester, that is first year. Each and every branch will be having almost the same syllabus. After third and fourth semester, fifth, sixth semester, you will be learning about front end and back end, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Java, Python, those languages. And final third and fourth semester. Third and fourth semester, you will be learning software as well as hardware a little bit. Like, you will be having a few uh, things about microcontrollers and preprocessors. Then you'll learn few things about analog and digital electronics, which are beautiful topics again. And coming to fifth semester and sixth semester, you'll be learning mainly about domains and cyber security, ethical hacking, followed by web development and mobile application development overall. Such as mobile application development was just an Android studio where Java, where drag and drop widgets will be there. those things and all we would be learning in fifth semester and sixth semester. Plus, we will be having an open elective as well. Like each and every semester, such as each and every department, such as electrical, mechanical, these things. From there, any one thing which we want to learn and explore, we can choose it from there. That's how the whole engineering up to third year is. And coming to the final year, like we learned more about data analysis. Then after that, uh, we learned about artificial intelligence and machine learning, IoT, those things like deep fields about engineering. And coming to engineering life, as I said, it was completely dramatical. I was technically, yeah, focusing on coding as well, but parallelly, even I was focusing in singing, as I have a YouTube channel and I was maintaining that post lockdown and during a partial time during lockdown. So parallelly I was singing as well, and I was like mainly working on technical skills rebuilding sorry building as well. And coming to singing, since I had a YouTube channel, I used to give stage shows everywhere. And later on, after graduation, again I was invited to the college to explain juniors certain things and to motivate them. Two or three sessions I had already given, and both the HODs of our department were supportive enough and great enough, and all the faculty members were also great. And final year, I was like the class representative, and like I used to help enough people, like almost every people who asked me. Like for example, I used to give them important questions during internals by asking to the teachers, and all other necessary outputs which was required to them, I used to guide them enough. So overall engineering, I would say it was fun, and I want to get back to engineering life again, since work is always boring, and we can't enjoy much during work. Like we how the day starts and how the day ends, we won't get to know during engineering, because we used to have that amount of fun. But in work, we'll not get to know what are we doing and how the day ends. That elongating the work is. So whenever you're doing engineering, I would suggest, like the audience who are seeing, whenever they are doing engineering, I would suggest them to work on technical knowledge as well, build their technical knowledge. Theoretical won't work that much. Like you have to learn always real time examples, as the company always asks you real time approach.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true, Vivek. So, like you said, it was fun, it was failures, it was success, up and downs in engineering. So, like, how did you manage both singing on stages? Like you said you were called for stage performance, singing performance. How did you manage singing and college projects and everything?
That's a very good question. Like I said, I worked hard for technical, yeah. But coming to singing, there was nothing much, since we knew each other during engineering from first semester. There were 4 or 5 or 6 people with us in the band. So on the day of event itself, I used to like go 2 hours prior backstage and practice, and just come on stage and rock the stage with my band members. So it was an habit. Like starting, I agree that I had to manage time where I had attendance shortage and stuff, where I had to go to singing. I used to bunk classes. I used to take permission from the faculty, that's secondary, but I used to bunk classes for practicing. So later on, once or two session, like after 2 or 3 months of these all events, later on we got adjusted. For example, we had formed a proper band during the lockdown itself. We had started lockdown second semester to fourth semester. So from fifth semester starting itself. In the starting of fifth semester, in the first 2 months, I had to bunk classes and get scoldings from some of the faculty members. Yeah, but then after that, for example, we had to perform on each and every freshers day. So the first two performance we struggled. Then the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, everything went like a butterfly. It was easy. So we could enjoy. And how we used to manage time was, like during the classes we used to attend classes, and after 5 p.m. or 3 p.m. when the college ends. We used to practice an hour or two somehow, and then form a WhatsApp group where we used to like select and assign each other who will sing what song and when what is the flow and so on. That's how we used to manage. And coming to internals, yeah, again important questions, we used to take that and learn somehow and form mnemonics, and somehow I used to manage. So I used to do both parallelly, but technical side I was a little bit more. Yeah.
Great, great, Vivek. So you managed both internals, college projects, and also like singing on stages and various performance. So it's such a great achievement. What are the notable projects you have did in engineering you want to share?
Like we had some mini projects and major projects as well. Since I had said after fourth semester, after post lockdown, like after lockdown, we had DBMS, a subject where we had mainly done bank management system. Here, what we had done was, since we were new, we had taken the code from the internet itself, where that was simple HTML and vanilla CSS, where we had taken the code from there. And later what we had done was, we took the file, and whichever errors we had in the backend, that we corrected, and we posted that in PHP, that is XAMPP, as I had said. So it was like bank management system where, based on user credentials, the login would be there, such as the bank employee, or else the bank owner, or else the uh, bank who has created the account recently, and a person who just created an who wants to create a new account. Based on these credentials, we had created a bank management system. And coming to sixth semester, we had a subject named file structures, where we had to use object oriented programming, that is C++, or procedural oriented programming, that is C. So we used C programming. And coming to that, we had worked on hotel management system. It was again similar to database itself, where we had to just show a simple code where we enter the hotel prices and tariff, and then the prices would be uh, displayed in a list. That's what we had done. And coming to seventh semester, this was the major project, where we had to select a team of 4 members. So me and the team and me, we four had worked on IoT dustbin, smart dustbin, where uh, dry and wet waste, metallic and non-metallic waste will be segregated. For example, if it's dry, then if it's dry or wet, if it's wet, it will directly flip into the section where the wet dustbin part will be there, and if it's dry, it will go to the next part, and it will check if it's metallic or non-metallic. Then if it's metallic, it will fall in the metallic section, and if it's non-metallic, it will fall in non-metallic section, that is plastic or any non-metallic substances. So that's how we did. We used Raspberry Pi for the project, and we had used certain sensors such as proximity sensors and IR sensors, and some other sensors, where some other necessary and relatable sensors for this project. The team of 4 were there, and mainly I contributed in the team for making front end, and I mean, not completely. I was with a member. We both were doing front end, and I was mainly making documentations, and I was mainly making presentations and giving introduction. I mean, the opening to every presentation. That's how my contribution was in the final year. And later, our project was again published in IEEE as well.
Great, Vivek. You have done various projects like mini projects, major projects.
Yeah.
So, so if I were to start a new project now, what are the skills I need? If I want to start a new project, what are the skills, basic skills I need?
Yeah, so to start a project, there is like there are various fields which to be specific in what you have to start a website or application project. That's what I wanted.
So in a website, for example.
Okay, yeah. For website to start a project there, initially you know need to know like HTML and CSS. And since I had said earlier, like in plus one, plus two, you had a grip on C programming, sorry, C++ programming, which is object oriented, and later on C programming, procedural oriented in the starting semesters. If you know these languages, then JavaScript is little bit tricky, but since they have less number of lines of code and less compilation is required, you can also get a good grip in JavaScript as well. So to basically start a project, you need HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And not only that, if you have a studio, it's a better option, I would suggest. For example, you can use a notepad, but notepad looks really unprofessional and it's time taking, where you have to create a folder and like various files you have to put. In studio, you'll be having less features where they can type for you. For example, clicking on shift and pressing on one, you would get exclamation. If you enter that, HTML body will be printed, so it will reduce your time. So what I would suggest is, for example, you can learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, followed by PHP if you want to learn backend. And once you learn that, you can you use VS Code for making a website where the documentations and other things would be easy. It would reduce your time. So yeah, these things are mainly required. And after HTML and CSS, as I said, you have to learn more of frameworks and libraries. So React.js, you have to just learn how to render HTML elements into React.js. That's the main thing. So yeah, the websites, the things you have to mainly refer is like books, courses, and websites. I would recommend. Like for beginners, I highly recommend online courses such as Udemy, Coursera, or edX, having an excellent introductory courses in computer science and other programming languages. Then you can also some other websites such as Stack Overflow and GitHub and HackerRank. There you can practice problem solving and more uh, programming challenges, mainly in HackerRank and Lead Code. You can like mainly focus on. And lastly, I would say if you want to learn each and every things from scratch, you can use W3 schools. And in W3 schools, each and every documentation would be helpful. For example, if you want to learn React.js, you have their own documentation. You can refer to that as well. And once you are learning and you are making it, you can just run the examples by copying the code from W3 schools and pasting it here. And once you run, you can also try to explore in tasks like combined tasks, like how to uh, join the components in HTML or in React. That's how. Like that, you can refer W3 schools and various websites as a Stack Overflow. I would not suggest you to read books because in during the college days we have ended up doing the same thing. So here again we would end up doing the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks for the suggestions, Vivek. So let's come to the mobile application development. If I want to start a mobile application development, what are the technologies I need to learn and where should I learn? So as you are working with mobile technologies like Flutter and you have developed various applications and also you have interned at various companies. So if I want to start with an mobile application development, what are the technologies I should learn? Like how to master mobile application development?
Yeah. How to master mobile application development, that I like I can't really say because I am not a master itself. But yeah, how to get a good grip on application technology, I would say, since each and every semester, like overall 8 semesters, I don't know based on the syllabus. Any one semester you will surely get a subject where mobile application development will be there, and there you need to install Android Studio. The processing of Android Studio, I mean to say, first part you have to learn is installation of Android Studio. that is really complex and really time taking. It would it would not hardly, it would minimum take around 3 to 4 hours to understand how to install Android Studio. You have to search each and every step in YouTube video. You have to watch and follow it correctly. If you don't follow, you have to reinstall from scratch, which is another headache. And coming to Android Studio emulator, you have to make sure that whenever you're running the code in your file in your system, the C drive would be free, or else when you're using Android Studio, too much your laptop would hang like hell. Like too much time it will take to process, and you will be literally frustrated. So coming to Android Studio, this is what I wanted to say. And coming to Flutter, Flutter is like actually a framework which is in Android Studio. Before learning that, you have to follow the college thing, which is Java and XML, where you can just drag and drop. Then after dragging and dropping, you'll get the XML code. Just go through how XML code works, and for logic, just go through what are you going to do in Java. Once you're perfect with these things, then next you have to learn Flutter. I mean to say, what is Flutter and how to install Flutter in Android Studio. If I go technically, you have to install two plugins. One is Flutter plugin and another one is Dart plugin. So coming to Dart plugin, Dart is, I didn't explain about Dart, so I would say that Dart is basically a program language. Like how to say, it's mixture of C programming, C++ programming, and Java, Dart programming. So I would say to learn Dart programming, it's mixture in a sense. It has less number of lines of code, and it's easier to learn. Where how to say C++ will be having overload, function overloading. I mean to say Java has overriding. So Dart can have both overloading and overriding. I'm just giving that as example. So Dart has better features. That's the reason they have used in Flutter. And using that, you can also build not only Android, and you can also build iOS as well. But I don't know how right now. I presently I don't know how to build iOS. Like you have to uh, use some testing tools for that, like Xbox export testing. Those things you have to basically use. And coming to like what is Dart? As I said, it's a programming language. You need to initially, so like in a conclusion, I would say first you have to learn Android Studio. What is Android Studio? XML, JavaScript. Once the college portions are done, you should learn what is Flutter, like what is the plugin and what are the necessary plugins. And after that, you should learn what is Dart programming language. Then come to learn how to run the emulators and what are the options for emulators and what are the virtual emulators and what is your device, then how to connect it. For running it in your phone, what things you have to enable in Android Studio. These things are must to learn in your phone and in your
Yeah.
laptop as well.
Thanks for the suggestions, Vivek. It was a great advice for one who wants to start with Android or mobile development. So you have worked with various companies as an intern or developer position, full-time positions. So how different is corporate world and with engineering life? I mean, 4 years of engineering, we will be learning many things, and how different is it is with real world companies?
Yeah, as I said, the 4 years of engineering is completely different compared to real world. As I said you earlier, I would like to go back to those engineering days itself because work will be hectic. In engineering, how we enjoy and how the day passes, we can't realize. But in work, we don't realize what are we doing itself, that elongating and that hectic the day would be. So to complete a engineering project, it would hardly take 1 week or hardly take 2 weeks, let's say. And major project, it would hardly take around 4 to 5 months, including paper presentation and all. It would take around 8 to 9 months, and publications approximately up to 1 year. But here in work, to complete a project itself, it would take 5 or 6 months. As in engineering, what are we going to do? We'll just learn in entry level, like one or two web pages we do. We try to learn how to navigate from one page to another, or in applications, we are going to do the same thing. But in engineer, after engineering in work, what are we going to do? As I said earlier, in work, we are going to like work on real time examples, like based on user type and based on login credentials, which screen should appear, those things and all. Before getting into project, we should make a flow chart where which department would be there, what domains would be there, what are the things which are required, and how are we going to approach making a flow chart, making a documentation, then go for the work, so that it would reduce how much time will you take to work, and your work would be efficient, so you'll get some knowledge on what are you working, how are you working, and why are you working on that.
Yeah, that's great, Vivek. Thanks for suggesting and how corporate world is different from engineering. So, like, when did you started your placement preparation? Like, when one should start placement preparation, and when you did start placement preparation?
Yeah, as I said, like you have to do parallelly where theoretical things won't work. You have to do like theoretical and practical work together. Somehow you need to manage time. At least give like 2 hours per day for practical, like learn the programming languages, and as I said, use HackerRank or Lead Code for various examples, or GitHub where you can get the code and learn the code properly and learn how you can apply logic. Yeah. And also like how I had said, you have to like start at the starting of the engineering itself, or before coming into engineering, like plus two. I mainly started learning coding in plus two, but I started working for placements when I got to know that I had to like work immediately after engineering, not go for higher studies, get experience and then go for higher studies. So like I'm not planning for initially I was planning for higher studies, but now at least now I'm not planning for higher studies. That's the reason I immediately started. So my mistake was I started for placements, preparing for placements after a month or two of the start. Like for example, the placement started in the month of July. I started my preparation in the month of September, and later on somehow luckily I got placed in the month of October. So if I was starting in the month of July itself, I would have got when the placement was started, I would have got placed. I mean, attending drives and all, I would have got placed by the month of August itself. So that's how was my mistake. So what I would like to suggest you guys is you have to start coding in first 2 years where you are entering the branch, and when you are entering into your core branch, that is mainly in third semester, fourth semester, that is second year and third year, there itself you have to start uh, aiming on placement, since college doesn't support you much. Like college supports for placement, since recession is going on after lockdown time, many companies are running in loss. So mainly college placements won't support you much. You have to start professionalizing yourself. You have to make create an account in LinkedIn, connect with various company HRs, connect with CEO, build your connections, build your knowledge, and then apply for placements in the off campus itself. Then come for on campus. Try doing it parallelly, and which off campus or on campus, whichever you get better, go for it. That's what I wanted to say. Like, start from the second year or third year itself. Get 1 year to get set for programming languages, for applying logic, and then start for placements. Shoot yourself from second year itself.
So you said like from second year we should start preparing for placement. Early as we start, we will get better opportunities and better offers. So what is that one tip or one piece of advice you give to crack any of the technical interviews? What is that one tip?
Yeah, to crack any of the technical interviews, I agree technical knowledge is must and should and it's required, but mainly you have to learn how do you communicate to people. Communication is required and attitude is required. Initially you will be getting like to say, whenever you're trying to attend a placement drive off campus or on campus, doesn't matter, do they directly come to you and ask what do you know? No. Why they don't ask? Because you need to like see how your attitude is, how your communication skill is. They judge you based on that. Not only that, they will also see like how is your calculative skills. So initially they would keep aptitude tests. In the aptitude test you need to know like how perfect you are, like physics and maths, whatever you learn in high school and maybe in seventh standard to 10th standard, these 4 years, whatever you have learned, these things only almost you will be getting in aptitude. That would be like brushing up in fifth and sixth semester. So mainly in technical you have to learn from fourth semester itself, but in fifth and sixth semester like you have to mainly focus on drives. So you need to have aptitude knowledge and communication knowledge. Whoever are seeing this video, I would like to suggest them like before technical, mainly your attitude, your communication skills, and your approach to problem statements in aptitude is must. Then coding is required.
Yeah, communication is very much important. So, coming to the next question, so if you want to give a one piece of advice for your juniors or audience, like one piece of advice for your juniors or audience who are just starting their engineering life or just starting their journey or who are
One piece of advice I would like to give to juniors or any viewers who are starting engineering is like don't be in a stress to that you have to do this, do that. Whatever you do it with love, do it with passion, do it with your own interest. Don't be in a competitive mind like he is doing or she is doing. I have to do better than her or I have to do better than him. Don't think like that. Be in your own way. Yeah, but technical skills you should know like how others are knowing, how you know how you can be better than yourself. These things you have to see. But rather than that, other things are not required. Like, yeah, mainly while doing engineering, friendship, this stuff, that stuff, everything is required. Like these all are sideways. But mainly what you have to do is you have to like build your communication skills in friendship itself. That makes you smarter and that makes you sharper. So what I would say is, one piece of advice I would give you guys is like mainly learn coding and simultaneously enjoy whatever you do it with love, and don't stress yourself for learning any coding language or applying logic. Enjoy and do it. If you are interested, then join engineering. If you are not interested and if you are joining with other people force, then never join. That's what I want to give as an advice.
Thank you so much, Vivek. So, coming to our last question, what is your opinion about this podcast, Tech Podcast One on One?
Yeah, this tech podcast is like one of the most fantastic platform for whoever watches. That is for beginners or the starting of the careers or any type of viewers. Like every week, right? Every week you bring new people here, if I'm not wrong. So, yeah, every week, whoever
Yeah.
comes, like each and every people will be telling their different opinions. For example, I am present here. I have seen some of my classmates as well. I was proud enough that I was called to this technical podcast after two classmates of mine, and after that, I was also like enjoying the way the questions have been asked. I was enjoying like. How could I answer? I also learned new things before joining this tech podcast, seeing others, seeing my seniors, my classmates, and seeing other people, whoever it is. And I was like very lucky enough.
Thank you so much, Vivek, for coming and sharing your insights and tech journey and advices. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, also thank you so much, Sumukh, for the overall podcast, and please keep conducting. After me bring new guests here, I would still keep watching all the new people, whoever are coming and giving these advices to people. Yeah, coming to the viewers, only I. It's obvious that it's not only the people who will see like who are coming to branch, the whoever are like, how to say, whoever wants to attend this podcast and whoever have already attended podcast, these people will also be obviously your viewers. We can't just say it's randomly whoever it is, everyone will be watching this podcast and enjoying, like you are handling this podcast in such a good way. Not many people can do it. I would appreciate that and
Thank you so
congratulate
much.
you for these podcasts, and better luck for your future as well. Keep up the things, whichever you're doing.
Thank you so much.